When I say the word addiction, what immediately comes to your mind? Maybe it's this? Or this? Possibly even this. But there's another subtle drug that snuck itself among us, unnoticed, but just as harmful. Hey, little Laura here, and I hope that by the end of this essay you'll recognize how dangerous some other forms of addictions can be. The American Society of Addiction Medicine defines addiction as such. People with addiction use substances or engage in behaviors that become compulsive and often continue despite harmful consequences. The NHS says this about addiction. Addiction is defined as not having control over doing, taking, or using something to the point where it could be harmful to you. Addiction is most commonly associated with gambling, drugs, alcohol, and smoking, but it's possible to be addicted to just about anything, including work, internet, solvents, and shopping. And the Merriam-Webster dictionary defines this as addiction: a compulsive, chronic, physiological or psychological need for a habit-forming substance, behavior, or activity having harmful physical, psychological, or social effects. So pretty much, addiction equals religiously partaking in something despite its harmful consequences. Huh. Where have I heard that one before?
And so that in itself can be part of an addictive process.
They essentially become the equivalent of an addictive drug.
Designed to be addictive.
Potentially addictive nature of social media.
For their social media addiction.
This is actually addictive.
According to online website FameMass, teenagers between 13 and 18 years old spend the most time on social media. On average, they can spend 3 hours a day, with many individual accounts going up as high as 9 hours a day. This is often so critical because at this young age, the brain goes through a lot of essential developmental stages, and the way social media affects our lives can influence our minds and cause serious problems. Although social media suck you up at such an early age, often through friends encouraging you to make an account, the most common traps people fall into this rabbit hole with would be Instagram, Twitter, and yes, of course, TikTok. With Twitter and TikTok actually being some of the worst perpetrators of unhappiness in teenagers' lives. Unlike Instagram, Twitter and TikTok live off of recommendations. This is all done in an effort to keep you scrolling, to keep you finding and following more and more people, which can lead you to seeing things that might negatively impact you. Allow me to take you on a quick detour. According to Dunbar's number, we as humans have difficulty maintaining more than 150 meaningful relationships. This number isn't set in stone, of course, but the idea behind it is still true. And if you think about it, it makes sense. After a while, entertaining this many people just becomes tedious. Boy, I need a break just thinking about it. So this means that all those big numbers are oftentimes way too much for us to comprehend. So all those numbers get turned into just that. Numbers. Those aren't 20 people who liked your Instagram picture. Those are just 20 likes. You haven't just filled a whole stadium worth of people who watched your video. You only got a few thousand views. Surprisingly, humans are quite bad with numbers. A number is just a visual representation of whatever is going on behind the scenes. We oftentimes can't fathom how big or small something actually is. But there is something that we as humans can do exceptionally well, and that is feel. Look down a cliff and you will feel it. Listen to good music and you will feel it. Eat your favorite dessert and you will feel it. And most importantly, you will remember it. If you post a picture on social media, you don't really feel anything. But something you will notice is how it's received. If you get thousands of likes and views, then you'll probably feel excited and validated. But if you don't get much in return, then you might feel disappointed and unmotivated. Both of these are equally dangerous. Once you start relying on likes and views for validation, you can fall deep once you don't receive the recognition you hope for. Plus, comparing yourself to others is a horrible habit to get into to begin with. Trust me, I should know. Welcome to your biannual examination. Please tick all the boxes that apply to your condition. Do you spend an average of 3 to 4 hours a day on social media? Not rarely up to 6 or above? Do you use social media to forget about your personal problems? Do you tend to compare yourself to others, especially in terms of success? Do you use social media so much that it has had a negative impact on your job or studies? Do you often feel insignificant due to the numbers presented on social media? If you ticked 3 or more of these boxes, then thanks for participating, I guess? I'm not a medical professional, so I can't diagnose you, but there is a chance that you might be addicted to social media. Social media is a literal drug. It affects the same part of the brain as actual illicit substances. Dopamine. Yay. When you use social media, oftentimes your brain releases dopamine to make you all happy and content due to the likes or views. But the effect doesn't last long enough, leading to withdrawal symptoms. And boom, addiction. And honestly, it should be treated as such. There is an undeniable link between mental health issues and social media usage. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but it's true that a surprising amount of teenagers these days are addicted to social media, and their mental health gets worse because of it. So, how can we help them? How can you help yourself? Well, the best way to go about this is quite simple. Let's be real, it's never simple. Delete the apps off your phone. Do it. Do it now. A cold withdrawal is never easy, so you can try and compromise by keeping the apps on your laptop or PC. But distancing your phone from the source of your addiction is already a first step, since we already spend too much time on our phones. More on that at 8. Manage your screen time. If things get too extreme, maybe try and install a tracker app or a screen time limiter. Yes, even if you are technically too old for that and it's not cool, or whatever. Hey, don't take it from me. Take it from him.
Well, your fucking phones are poisoning your minds, okay? So when you develop a dissociative mental disorder in your late 20s, don't come crawling back to me.
The last point goes out to all the young parents out there. Maybe stop giving your child a phone or tablet to play with at the age of 2. This is personal. Jenny Galindo, Supervisor of Instructional Technology for the Manatee County School District in Florida, says, "In an unsupervised environment, I wouldn't recommend a smartphone or tablet purchase for a child until at least between the ages 11 and 13. Additionally, I'd like to point you all to this survey. Notice how many parents think that it's not okay for a child to have a smartphone under the age of 12 to 14, but how many think it's okay to give a tablet to a 5 to 8-year-old? I know that some parents are stressed or overworked, but sitting your child in front of a screen at such an early age will most likely result in long-lasting damage. Spend some time with your child and teach it to entertain itself without phones or tablets. I know there is a lot of drama going on right now in the world. I know this is a timeless quote because there's always drama going on, but I want you to sit down and think. Does it really affect you? Does it really need to affect you? Do you really need to monitor your friends or favorite celebrities' every move? Do you really thrive when you look at all those numbers from social media? Let's all just chill for a moment. This world is moving too fast as is. Stay sane, folks.